Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is day 10 of the build. Well, actually, yesterday was day 10. I didn't record anything. I was busy framing my first wall. And let me show you something. This is why some people may ask, why did you put treated plywood for your subfloor when you're going to build a structure around it? Well, it's not really intended to protect the wood against moisture after I build a structure, but before the structure is actually up. So you see here, even though I covered this last night, Victor and I covered this last night, we had a pretty good amount of rain, and we still got water in here, not wood. We still got water in here, and since I have treated plywood and I sealed it, then I don't really worry about it too much. Yeah, there's a couple of little pieces of wet wood here and there, no big deal, because I know that this wood is not going to rot. As far as the regular wood, once it's standing up, it's okay if it gets rained on a few times, because the water will just come off a lot quicker and not sit on puddles like that. So now what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is the wall, and it's going to be standing up that way. So you can see I have a really nice window here. I have a window that I framed in that's 3 feet tall by, 6 feet wide. So this is going to be a nice window that I'm going to be putting in there. I already got it, but the window won't go in until after the wall has been erected, to make sure that everything's square before we actually put the window in. We wouldn't want to break the window or crack it while we're putting it up. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and insulate this from the outside instead of waiting until the wall is up. I'm going to insulate it, I'm going to wrap it, and then once I wrap it, I'm going to put the sheathing on, and then my buddy's going to come over probably tomorrow to help me erect the wall, and then we can go on and start building the second wall, which will be the biggest wall of the structure, because it's going to be a 10-foot high wall, and that's going to go on this end right here. So a quick intermission, ladies and gentlemen. My neighbor just called me and told me that the power was out, and I didn't know because I was outside. So let me just show you how easy it is with the setup that I have to power those things that I need to power. I went ahead and hooked my refrigerator up to this yellow electrical cord, as you can see right here, and then I just hooked it up to my Goal Zero that has roughly around 6,000 watt hours of energy stored. So it's all good right there. And then for my freezer, I have it hooked up to the Duracell solar generator that you saw me review. So that is automatically hooked up to it. So if the power goes out, it just automatically switches over to that. So that's how easy it is to go ahead and switch over to stored power whenever the electricity goes out here. I have the insulation on the outside part of the wall done, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, I've got everything filled in. You'll see some gaps here and there. That's because I'm using the insulation that I had left over from other cuts that I made. So you'll see this here as well. No big deal. I'll just go ahead and fill all these gaps in with canned foam when I raise the wall. See, gaps everywhere. But like I said, that'll take maybe a third of a can of foam to seal. So I'll do that while I'm sealing it from the inside. And now the next step is going to be for me to put the house wrap around this and staple it all into place, and then we're going to put the sheeting on top of this and screw everything on into place, making sure that everything is square. What I'm building here is a glorified shed. It's a 144 square foot box that's going to hold heat and hold a load of snow in the winter. Really not that much, because the way I'm making the roof, it'll be very easy for me to take the snow off. So I understand that a lot of people out there are professionals that are in carpentry and all sorts of things, foundations and stuff like this. But keep in mind when you're watching this, I'm not building a house. I am building pretty much a shed. It's what I like to think about it. Right? It's just a small studio that's not going to hold a lot of weight at all. I actually think that I've overbuilt some parts of this, but that's good. That's what I like. I like to be on the safe side. For example, when I built my house, the second floor joists that I put up 12-inch floor joists for my second floor, and I put them 1 foot off center. All right. So that's how I like to overdo things to make sure that it's going to be good for a long time. I'm not very good at the details. I'm terrible at that. But I'm a little bit better at, just putting up the raw stuff and then letting someone else finish it off. But I don't pay anyone else to finish it off because I don't really care how things look too much as long as they function. So just keep that in mind. Don't be using the techniques that I use here to build a house if you're building a house. Learn how to do it from the floor up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to go ahead and say that. So like I said, the next thing is going to be the house wrap, and then I'm going to put the sheeting on. And then after that, I have to wait on my friend to come over so that we can put the wall up. We are getting ready to put up our first wall, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, this one here is all sheeted on the outside. Let me show you something that I did really quick. You see here how this piece of sheeting is overhanging from the edge. So what's going to happen is when we put the wall up, this is going to come down flush up against the joist, and it's going to hang down probably around this low here. All right, that way it covers at least up to the extent of where I have my brackets to make it to mitigate any snow or water getting in there and getting on the brackets and the screws and the nut and the bolt that's down there. My job today, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be to build the second wall. As you can see, we were able to put this wall up yesterday. It went fairly well, believe it or not, and everything is looking good. So as you can see here today, I have 12-foot boards that I am going to go ahead and make sure are the exact size that I need them. So those 12-foot boards are going to act as the wall for the front over here. But before we do that, we have to trim them down. If you remember me telling you that these dimensional numbers aren't exactly what they say they are. So what I do in order to make sure that they're all the same sizes, I come to this end and I make sure that they're all even on this end. And then I bar clamp them together, as you can see right there. And then I go to the other side. As you can see, I've also got them bar clamped on this side to make sure that they're all together really good. And then what I'll do is I'll put a tape measure all the way down, and then I'll go ahead and measure 12 feet, and I'll give it a nice line across the edge, and I'll be able to make sure that every board is the same size. So that's what I'm doing now. As soon as I get all these boards prepped, after I do these 6 here, I have to do these last 2. I already did these 2. I just did these 2 to test out how it works with me measuring it from one side to another. Works great. And these 2 here are going to be my bottom and my top plate. And then the rest that you see here are actually going to be used in constructing this wall. Now this wall that I'm putting up, which is going to be right here in the front, it's going to have a door, a 36 by 80 inch door, and it's going to have a 3 by 3 foot window over there on that side. So once I'm done building this wall, I'll show you what it looks like. I'm not going to insulate it this time like I did this one because I'm in a time crunch. I have someone coming over tomorrow to help me put it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am done for today. I am beat, and I'm going to go visit a friend, have a little bit of Cuban coffee with Billy and Dee. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I recorded a clip of this showing you where I messed up, but let me show you real quick. If you can see this window right here that I just built, this 2 by 3 window, I put it in the wrong spot. I was supposed to have the top of the window pretty much even with the top of the door. And as you can see, the bottom of the window is even with the top of the door. That's way too high. So I ended up having to relocate this window down about 2 feet from the bottom that you see right here. So when you see it from the inside or the outside after I put the wall up, you'll see that the window now, the top, is even with the top of the door instead of it being even with the bottom of the window over here, as you can see. What I ended up doing was I just repositioned my header. I actually built a brand new header because there's no way I was going to bang this header out. So it ended up costing me probably a few dollars worth of wood. But I just ended up leaving this header up here, and I repositioned a new header down below this windowsill that you see up here, and then I rebuilt my window. Took me a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra wood, but these things happen. So that's what I ended up doing, ladies and gentlemen, just so if any of you may ask. I'm not going to put sheathing on this wall before we put it up because this is a 12-foot wall. So it's going to be heavy enough. And we do have the deck right here that's going to be a steady platform to be able to put the sheathing up once it's up, to have a ladder on. So, but tomorrow's going to be a big day. We're going to put up this wall and then start working on the sidewalls. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the last clip of this episode, I guess, of this video. All right, so as you can see, we've got our long wall up. That is a 12-foot wall, and the short wall is an 8-foot wall. So we're going to have a really nice pitch on the roof. This is all that we got done today. Tell you what, for me, it's not as easy as it may look, or it may be for some other people. But one of my buddies came to help me out today, and I actually have one of my neighbors coming to help me out tomorrow with the roof. So the next time that you see this, ladies and gentlemen, there are going to be sidewalls and there will be a metal roof on it. Let me go ahead and show you what color the roof is going to be. So this is the metal roofing that we're going to put on it. And this is all of the wood that we're going to use for the roof right there. I'm going to have approximately a 1.5 foot overhang on top of the porch and about a 6-inch overhang on the other side. All right, and as you can see, the roof is roughly the same color as my house. And like I said, we'll be putting that up tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have the this wall right here. I'll have this wall insulated on the inside, because remember, I didn't insulate this wall prior to putting it up because it's such a big wall, and I did not want to put any more weight on it than I needed to, because, you know, it was just two of us lifting it up. But we were able to get it done, thankfully. Everything looks pretty good as far as square and level and plumb. And yeah, I can't wait to get started on the insulation tomorrow, do a little sealing on the inside. And then hopefully tomorrow afternoon, we will be able to get the roof on, and then I can start working on the sidewalls. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in for these few minutes on the last 3 or so days of the bunker build. Hopefully next time you'll see 4 walls and a roof. Having said that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.